Hi, this is Brad Wiseman on In the Sport with Chad Ackerman.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, nice.
Hi, I'm Brad Wiseman.
And I'm Chad Ackerman.
No, you're not Chad Ackerman.
You
You would be Chad Ackerman. See, he says he knows something about hockey.
All right. In all seriousness, I got to bring us back to the serious world of Earth, not Mars, where I've been living for how long?
42 years.
Got it. 41.
Sorry, Melissa. You're still there.
So, we're going to talk about the NHL. We'll talk a real short amount of time about the lockout. It looks like it's kind of imminent. And what's this mean for the sport of hockey? In a nutshell, talking pretty quick here, without a lot of.
Well, first of all, it's not imminent. It's going on, Brad. Basically,
I don't know.
We're in disagreement again in major sports. Stunning. Be it over money, dividing of revenue, whatever it tends to be. I'm a little worried about hockey because hockey in America is still a sport that it's still the number 4 sport of the 4 majors behind football, baseball, and basketball. Basketball, I mentioned third. Basketball just went through a strike, and unbelievably, many people didn't even miss it. There is really only one sport right now that really, if
Can I guess what it is?
Sure.
Baseball?
No, that would be tiddlywinks. No, I'm kidding. It's the National Football League. NFL, you take that away from the fan on Sunday, you're going to have a lot of angry.
Okay.
So, getting back to hockey. I think hockey right now, they need to settle this issue they're having really quickly because out of sight, out of mind is going to be really true with hockey. Hockey just had a great postseason. Great stories. You had the New York Rangers and the New Jersey Devils playing for all New York. New York Rangers, one of the original 6 franchises. They went to the conference finals. They were upset by the Devils. On the other side, you had the 8th seeded Los Angeles Kings, who basically had to play out.
They played great. Those guys played out of their mind.
They played out of their mind. Take the words right out of my mouth. They played out of their mind for the last month to 7 weeks, and basically
out of their mind. Your mind.
Out of my mind. From that television into this brain to that mouth to his ears.
Okay. So let's turn it. We got a limited time and we're on a schedule and we got to talk fast about stuff we like talking about.
So get in there, guys. Get your differences settled. Let's get hockey back on there, especially here in my hometown. We had a great run too. That was who the Kings actually eliminated, was the Coyotes. Dealing with Glendale and all that. Let's get it settled. Let's get in there and let's play some hockey. Great sport.
Okay. So let's shift away from that. Let's talk a little bit about the player today in hockey has changed. Years ago, the player that has become kind of the quintessential player of today's game was Mario Lemieux, MLX, Mario Lemieux. And so what he was back then was kind of unique because physicality-wise, or physically is the right word, he was a man of massive size. He was really known for his soft hands with the hockey stick, real soft, which means he wasn't squeezing that stick. He held it like he was almost going to drop it, but he wasn't. And he moved like a little guy. He had a lot of power, strength. He also was a gentleman off the ice, which many of the NHL players are, which is kind of what I enjoy, is tough on the ice, not so tough off the ice. They're nice guys. So as you look at the NHL right now, what do you see that's changed in the player that's out there today? Because it's different than it was.
Yeah, well, we had, back in the 50s, 60s, hockey was a tough man sport. There were no helmets or no stuff like that.
That's the Bobby Hole type of.
No, this is a little bit older than Bobby Hole. I'm talking about Gordie Howe and Ted Lindsay and guys like that. These guys would, they would pummel their opponent and pummel the fan in the stands. Gordie Howe and Ted Lindsay in their heyday were probably 6'1", 6'2", probably 200, 205 pounds.
Was Gordie Howe? He played into his 50s, I think.
Gordie Howe played a long time. One of the longest careers of any professional athlete. Was the all-time leading scorer in the NHL for many years until, what was his name? Gretzky or something came along.
Gretzky.
Broke all his records.
Gretzky?
Yeah. Whatever you think his name is.
Gretzky?
But the bottom line, hey, we got time here. These people want to listen all day long until you make up names. But bottom line is the sport then kind of evolved into a speed skating sport. Basically we had a lot of smaller, faster guys. Yvon Cordier, Guy Lafleur. These guys were like 5'9", 5'10", skate around the ice faster than you could blink your eyes. Fantastic hands, great speed. The game was kind of sped up a little bit. Then in the early 70s, we had the Philadelphia Flyers, the Broad Street Bullies. They brought back a toughness to the game, a lot of more fighting. We had a lot of fighting. The fan really enjoyed that fighting aspect of the game. Got a little bit tougher. So what happened is players evolved. Players have gotten bigger, stronger, faster, genetics, whatever you want to call it, and basically you see 5 Mario Lemieux out there instead of 1 Mario Lemieux. A guy who's 6'5", 250 pounds, moves around the ice like he's 5'9", 150 pounds, but has the strength to move men out of his way. Very fabulous with the stick.
I'm going to jump into something real quick, and then we're going to kind of close the loop here. I see where you're going with this. The game has changed. There's no question. The players have, not the players, the players have changed. Also, the players have become, I think, more skilled. You look at players like, I believe, Detroit Red Wings, Pavel Datsyuk. If you haven't Googled Pavel Datsyuk, you got to watch this guy stick handle. I mean, I've never seen anything like it before in my life. Players like Claude Giroux, another really good player. Mm-hmm. And then obviously, you've got Sidney Crosby. He gets a lot of attention, but man, he deserves the attention. The guy is sensational. He's probably the best thing that ever came to the game in a long time. So he's kind of replaced that Gretzky legacy, if you will. He's a good kid. He is respectful on the ice and off the ice. And I think other players have a nice respect for him. And as a guy in Phoenix, I'm going to have to give a little shout out to Shane Doan. And I'm going to tell a quick story about Shane Doan, then we're going to close the loop here. Shane Doan was signing autographs, and my son and I were there. We decided not to get an autograph, just to shake his hand. And Shane had an injured knee at the time, and he bent down and talked to Dylan for about 20 minutes. And you could see the pain in his face. He never complained once. And I looked at him and I said, "How's that knee? Are you feeling better?" And he said this. He said, "If while it hurts, I can get on the ice, I can play." Mm-hmm. And so the point is, these guys, there's not a whole lot they complain about. They just kind of move forward. And I think we need to move forward as things get a little long here.
And to wrap that loop up, it's interesting you bring up Sidney Crosby, because basically the game and the size of the players has changed. Players have become bigger and stronger. So the physicality of the game, the level of the intensity of the physicality, there's more of a impact on that physicality. So we're seeing a lot of, and across a lot of sports, but we're seeing a lot in hockey and Crosby's. We're seeing a lot of head injuries and concussions. And that is a concern for the NHL. We had some players, former players, pass away last year. But I believe 3 of them passed away, and is believed to come from head injuries. We've seen that in other leagues as well. There's more of a speciality out there. Players are, for certain aspects, they're good for, this guy's good for checking, and this guy's good for clogging up the middle, and this guy's good for shooting, and this guy. So we see a lot of speciality, but the physicality of the game has reached a new level, and I think the NHL, and that's one of the concerns of the NHL right now, is trying to clean up some of the great players. Sidney Crosby has missed a lot of time the last 2 years.
And what you see too is the bottom line is when these guys take a hit now, and they take a digger on the ice, as they call it, that digger puts them through the ice. These guys take big hits from big guys. So, let's close the loop here. I'm Brad Wiseman. This is Chad Ackerman in the sport, talking a little bit about hockey. We appreciate your time. Do you or no? I do.
I definitely appreciate your time.
What about my time?
I appreciate your time out there. Have a good day.
What about my time?
I appreciate your time out there. Have a great day.